It is 6 p.m., December 7th, 2015. I would like to open the Newfane Selectboard meeting and welcome everybody here, to the members, the audience, and BCTV. First order of business is, anybody got to add anything to this agenda before we get going? Hearing none, we'll stick to the agenda.
You could add that letter, review of that letter.
Draft letter.
Was this it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get back online, so.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So we will add a piece of correspondence
Okay.
that we'll read tonight. Otherwise, we'll stick to the agenda. And the first order of business is to approve the minutes of November 16th, 2015. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of November 16th, 2015. Is there any discussion?
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't at the, I read the minutes, but I wasn't at the meeting, so I'm
All
abstaining.
right. Hearing no other comments, all those in favor of approving the minutes of November 16th as written, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed or abstaining? We have one abstention. November 23rd minutes. I have a motion for that one.
Move to accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the November 23rd minutes, and they were minutes of the, when we had a budget meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstaining, the ayes have it. The next order of business would be the minutes from November 30th, which is also a budget meeting. I need a motion to some effect.
I move to accept the minutes.
Motion's been made, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the November 30th, 2015 budget meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstaining? The ayes have it. Next order of business is road commissioner's report. The roads are in good shape. We have had to sand them a few times due to some ice that we had over last week. Then when we're not doing that, it seems to warm up enough so we can do a little bit of grading, which we have to do on the South Ward Road now because it's turned to mud and froze, so there's quite a few ruts. But the crew's also been doing some ditch work with the backhoe. They started cutting brush on some of the back roads last week, and we will continue to grade as long as the weather permits. But like I said, we're going to have to do something with South Ward Road up by Sylvia Kinney's house. It's pretty, the ruts are frozen, but they're pretty deep. As far as the equipment goes, the 2015 F550 is at Duran Ford again for the second time for an emissions problem. They won't have any parts for it until probably Thursday. Check engine light keeps coming on, and they've replaced some parts, and they didn't make it home with it, and it came back on again, so they took it back up, and it's sitting there now. The dump body piston on the 06 Sterling, that's the truck, if you remember, that we were talking about replacing this year, is leaking really bad. So we've removed it from the truck, and we have to take it to Hudson, New Hampshire to have it rebuilt. If it needs to have a new piston or cylinder, that's just about $3,000, which is, well, we don't even have that budgeted for that truck, but we're gonna have to do it. They said we might be able to put a seal kit into it and try to keep it going as long as we keep the truck, as long as we don't keep it too long, which is what I think I'm gonna try to have them do, is put a seal kit in and see how it goes. It's pretty pitted though.
What kind of piston is that?
Telescoping.
The telescope? The Mayat, whatever it is?
Yeah.
I see a place that they had a whole bunch of them for sale.
Oh yeah.
One of them books like that.
Huh, I'll have to see if we can find it.
Yeah.
Because the 09 Sterling's starting to leak some too. We have a recall on the new loader. Cat's going to come down and do that work. I contacted them today. Otherwise, knock on wood, everything's running okay. Depot Hill project is done now. It looks really good. I've had some compliments on that, the way it came out. I'm not sure how we're doing budget-wise because I haven't seen the bills. But I think between the extra paving money and capital money for Depot and Grimesville, we should be all right. I need to go over some of the bills with you tonight that Maureen has some questions on. Winter parking regulations. I've asked Shannon to put a notice in the papers about winter regulations as far as parking in the roads and plowing snow across the town roads and riding snowmobiles and four-wheelers on the town roads that are plowed. We have a lot of trouble with that in the winter. Shannon has done that, and it will be posted in the papers. For people that don't know, like on West Street, if it's snowing or something like that, if the cars are parked in West Street especially, they're gonna get towed. Just so everybody's aware. Not only that road, it's any road, but we have quite a bit of problem on that road. Winter sand's been delivered to the town garage. Now they're gonna haul us some gravel as soon as possible so we can get stockpiled for spring mud season and a little bit of mud season we have right now. That is all I have. Maybe you wanna make a motion one way or the other?
I'll make a motion to accept the road commission.
Motion's been made, is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the road foreman's road commissioner's report. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstaining? I'll abstain, so it's 4-1. Scheduled members of the public. James Holtzman, Clean Energy Design Group, is not going to be able to make it tonight. I guess he's going to get a hold of you later, Shannon?
No, he's not coming at all.
Not coming at
Currently,
all.
Green Mountain Power is at capacity of purchasing solar power, so,
Now, was Merle supposed to be here?
but I don't know.
We're a little
You're
early.
moving kind of fast.
Well, we can,
Okay.
if he shows up, we'll put him in. Did you want to say something?
No, I was thinking that's kind of important for Merle to be here. I hope he makes it.
Well, we are early, so if he does get here, then we will put him in
Okay.
on our schedule.
I kinda wonder what that does with the,
School?
solar panel stuff for the school.
Yeah,
Where
I do
these
too.
guys aren't buying any more, taking on any more power because they're at the capacity what they have to buy. For a net
I
meter.
thought they were increasing the,
Not till
like
2007,
tripling it.
2017 it's supposed to.
Oh, but that's when the new,
But see, the thing is, like this guy did, 'cause I talked to him about some land I had too. And one of the problems is coming by at the end of January, the investor loses that 30% from the feds. And it drops down to little or nothing, you know. See, right now they get like a tax exempt for like 30-some%. That's why these guys have been investing so in these solar fields. And after January, that goes away.
'cause that's gonna be interesting with the school. That means they won't be able to sell that
Power.
power. And that's the whole purpose.
Does the school know this, I wonder? It's none of our business, I guess, but, I mean, not as a select board, but taxpayers it sure
That's-
is. Wonder if somebody should call the school.
I mean, if the school has made a contract, the contractor gets the credit. Municipalities don't get the tax credit. So if
Right.
that, if they have contracted to have the dump thing built, there's 5 million coming out of the dump, solid, which will supply everybody. So nobody,
Well, it's probably gonna be the contractor that will be
yeah,
affected.
the contractor,
because That's how he was gonna make his money.
yeah.
I think it was a 500 kilowatt, or was it 500 or 5,000?
I don't
I can't remember exactly what it was.
And the school was gonna use like 150, and the rest of it was gonna be sold to Green Mountain Power. I think, that was my understanding.
The way I actually left the leaving it, I don't know, but I mean, I can't remember, it's been quite a while. I didn't think they were leaving no 150, they just got a certain percent off their electric bill.
Right, 10%.
Yeah, right. We all led to believe when it was going in there, it's gonna be a certain percentage off, you know, if they use 150, that's gonna be covered. But when it was all done, if I remember, it was only like 10% they get off their whole total electric bill, which is like $1,600.
Are they on an array of panels, or do they they're stationary panels, or they have an array of panels that actually turn with the sun? Do you know?
You know, I don't know.
I don't think they've built anything yet.
Oftentimes.
No, they haven't built anything yet.
No, I mean, they haven't, I don't think they've even got clearance from Green Mountain that the equipment here, the lines can accept it.
You know when the new regulations go in for how much green, one in 2017?
Now, this guy just said sometime in 2000, that's expected to go in 2017, before they get the increase.
Wow.
Well, there are companies who actually, you don't have to buy the panels or the trackers or anything like that. You lease it, and then after a certain number of years, you have the option And so basically installation is free, and but you pay each month to lease the trackers, and that after a certain amount of period, they offer you that you can buy the trackers back for less than they were worth, and they give you 2 options over so many years to be able to do that. And the idea is that you're not only providing electricity for your offices or whatever you want, but you're also selling the excess back to Green Mountain Power. So any money that Green Mountain Power is giving you, you put in the bank, so that when you basically, when you come to the period where you can buy back the trackers, you have a good chunk in the.
Yeah.
So
A lot of them just walk away from them at the end of the lease too. They just give it to you.
Right.
But
So I
that
think that's the
extra-
best way to go. I mean, with any.
But that extra that you won't be able to sell to Green Mountain, I think that's where the company that owns the array, that's where they make their money. So now they can produce all the electricity they want, but if Green Mountain Power doesn't have to buy it,
Right. Well, it's something to keep our ears open to, and maybe somebody should go down to school in one of these meetings and ask them what they're doing.
yeah.
Merle isn't here for the floodplain yet. Like I said, if he shows up, we'll schedule him in. New business, we're gonna table the snow removal bids because nobody got to the post office by 5 o'clock this evening to see if the bids are there. If there's any more bids, we only have 1 so far.
1.
Yep, so we'll table it till the next meeting. Old business town office building, who would like to discuss that?
Town office building. Well, we had a meeting with, I think it was Gunther, me, and Carol had a meeting with David Cotton. He laid out a couple of plans. One was discussion about a renovation on this building. The other was the potential building a building on the land next door, which he indicated there still is work to be done, but he indicates that it is possible, and that the seller of the property and the potential buyer of this, this definitely is a possibility. The dollar amount that he just, and these were just rough figures that he shared with us, was considerably higher than what I would have expected. I think for a new building he was talking, if I remember correctly, wasn't it like $750,000 to $800,000?
Yep.
And probably $500,000 or $600,000 for renovation. The concern that I had, I asked Shannon to give me a, which I got a copy of it here somewhere, a copy of our, where did I put it?
How much we can borrow?
Yeah, it's our debt, oh, it's right here in front of me.
Debt ceiling or
You
debt
better get to Walmart.
ratio.
It's our debt management
There it is.
policy for the town of Newfane. It limits us to debt payments, principal and interest in any given year to 10% of the annual revenue for that same year. And we currently are at about $123,000 in debt, and that's not including the Arch Bridge, which is
Or the
coming
truck.
up in 3
Or
years.
the truck.
The truck. I think it's pretty obvious that if we end up with like a $1.5 million budget, which looks like we're probably gonna be there, I don't think we're gonna be able to do this,
I know.
because we're gonna be over the debt limit, which I don't know how anybody else feels about it. It's there for a reason, and I think it's there for a good reason. So that would put us back into a position of, as Gunther had mentioned the other day, I think in one of the emails the committee was exchanging, would be that we'd have to go on as we have, a project at a time, and pay as we go.
Or I suppose the other way to do it would be bring up a special meeting or whatever and let the voters decide if they want to go over that 10%.
Well,
I got a feeling that's gonna fall
It's
flat.
it's not a thing that we need to go to the voters. It's a town policy enacted by the select board. The select board can vote to change it or temporarily suspend it. if they feel that it's necessary.
Well, the renovation was less,
Yeah, renovation was nice.
um,
Although we didn't really get, I don't think the numbers were as hard on the renovation. You know, no, I don't think he gave us real,
right, but I think he did say, it would be less,
yeah.
and I forget exactly how much. Do you remember?
He was talking in terms of 3.5 to 500, I
Yeah,
think.
something like that.
Something like that. Now, my thought on the subject is that we talk to David and come up with a scheme where we break this thing down into stages.
That's right, that was the other thing.
You know, the first stage would be to blow out the back, finish that, and then move everybody into that, and then do this over a
Right.
period of 5 years.
This, redoing this section might take some temporary housing, so to speak, for people who are working here. But putting that one in would not. You know,
Well, also, they'd be able to use that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what
well,
they'll
that
be
wasn't the
finished
design,
then.
but anything,
Yeah.
you know, is possible, but yeah.
The thing is, if you do that, it has to be integrated with the roof line so that it's not just a building, but then it becomes the entire roof become part of the first project, which could be quite expensive.
Now, I was thinking a little bit about this whole thing, like the 10% is like the 120,000 a year that we're paying out payments, so of the total budget, right? Well, on the building, like when we first talked about the building, we're putting out 30,000 a year anyways,
Yeah.
right? That we put up every year that we spend it, or we spend most of it trying to renovate it. And what we was thinking when we first said was, maybe we ought to look about renovating the building and put it out to bid to do it all at one shot so it gets done and done right, because right now it's like a piecemeal, we're just nipping away at it with this 30,000. So right now, if that 120,000 that we're spending for, you know, equipment that we got for loans, we're already got the 30,000 in there that we're spending on the building, that we raise every year for repairs. So we've already got that and we're spending it, so we wouldn't be really raising that initial payment of 120 because we're already spending the 30 grand, which might come in cheaper, is why I said like putting it out and looking at bonding a bond on the building and doing it in one shot. It might come out cheaper than the 30,000 that we're already putting into it every year.
Well, I
The
can see
payment.
where it could come out cheaper, bonding per year, but you're talking about accomplishing something in 5 years versus 20 years, they should be paying for it.
Yeah, I mean, but we're already spending the 30 grand anyways, you know what I'm saying?
He's
So
saying
if
put
you
the
had a
30,000
payment-
we've already got towards the
We're
bond.
already
so
got that, so
increasing
you
it.
wouldn't be raising that $120,000 figure, because we're already going through the 30.
The 30's already in our budget every year.
So,
So
but
we're
I'm
not
just saying, you
increasing
might
the
get it
budget
done
any-
and run right, you
If we
know?
could do it
Well,
that way.
that sounds good, but what happens if while we're, you know, taking the 30 grand that we need to maintain this building every year, and while construction is going on, the roof caves in of this, or some horrible catastrophe happens on this building. So there has to be some kind of
Well, I think structurally this building, there's not that's not gonna happen. The-
right, but I meant
It's-
something happens.
That's what the insurance would cover.
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, as far as the structural parts of the building, that's been fixed. That's, the sills were replaced, the joists were replaced, the girder that supports the entire building, the basement's been dried out, the building's ventilated. There's a lot done that you don't see
Right.
to make
So
this building.
do you think it's realistic to have no money in the kitty for anything that would happen while we're doing construction with the addition?
That's a good point. That is a point.
It's just something to think about.
I mean, I just have concern about, I think our current debt's about 650,000. I mean, these projects would more than double the town's debt. I mean, say it was 500, we did the truck for 180, and the arch bridge costs a couple $100,000. We're more than doubling the town's
I
debt.
don't
mean,
think you're
that's
gonna have to
something-
bond for that arch bridge. It's gonna be probably 4 years by the time we have to pay.
And we've been putting
And if you
25 away for it.
Put money away like you should
Yeah.
for that bridge, you won't need to bond for that.
Do we have anything currently?
So
We've been putting
150,
in-
I think, in there.
Yeah, it's like I'd have to look and see what we've been
Actually, no,
putting
it's
in every
probably-
year, but
So we could be in a position we could just pay for the,
absolutely.
There's
That was
5%.
the plan.
So that
originally.
money's in like a savings account somewhere for that?
Right.
There's not 150. We've been
Yeah.
putting 25 away for 3 years anyways, or maybe 4, so
Yeah.
it's close to 100,000 in there.
And how much do we need again?
About 200.
What?
Yeah, I would figure high end 200,000.
Oh,
The only thing I was trying to get at is, like I said, when I first brought that up about doing the bond and the repairs of the building. I mean, we're talking, what, 40-some thousand, they said, for the roofing
yeah.
at that time. Another 40-some thousand for the siding. So right there, you're looking at,
80.
you're looking at 4 years worth of 30,000s or whatever, you know, just to do the siding and the roofing. Yeah, it's,
I
we don't have enough money. We gotta wait a year and a half so we can do one project.
But the estimate on the siding, not including weatherization, just to do the siding was $31,000 or $32,000.
Yeah. So,
And now you start tearing it off, and now you want to put the insulation. I'm not exactly sure what they call it, but the insulated and weather seal the building. I'm sure that's good. You're probably right. It's probably going to be about $40,000 just to do the siding.
and that doesn't take care of any of the other needs
Yeah.
that the employees have and working in this building.
Yeah.
And that's just on this part of the building.
Yep.
If you put an addition on it, you're gonna need to side that too.
Right.
Where are we, where is your, where are you in your committee with David in terms of the plans that he's doing? I know that, or I understand that he was going to do one plan creating a whole new building if we bought that property. Then he was going to do a plan of renovating the building. And then was there a third plan?
No, he's moving forward with those two plans.
Yeah.
That's what we're paying him for.
Right.
So I guess the option, and we really need the plans because we have to give options to the voters.
No, I understand that.
But I guess the option would be continue on as we have, renovate this building as per David's plans, or build a new building. So they have the
Right, we have
options
3 options.
to
So-
make the,
So it won't be until town meeting day in March that we present this to the public, and then we have to wait until then to make
If
a
they wanna
move
vote on
going
it,
either
then
way.
you're gonna have to present it before town meeting if
they
they're
have
gonna
to have a
vote on
special
it.
meeting.
Yeah.
You're
Like
going
by-
to have a special
By
meeting.
January,
Yeah.
you have to have preliminary plans and call a
Yeah.
meeting and
I
have
mean, I think
everybody
that's
scream and
important
yell
to
and
do.
holler,
Yeah.
so they don't do the same thing at the town meeting.
Right.
So that it's a simple resolution,
Right.
yeah or nay.
So that if you have a special meeting in January, for
Mm.
example, then by town meeting, we will know which way we're going. Is
Well,
that correct?
actually, I think we discussed in the meeting that we need 2 special meetings before the actual town meeting. So
I think, do we legally, Shen, do we have to have 2 meetings? Isn't there some, on a big issue like that?
If you're gonna have a bond vote, which means you've already applied for the bond and, you know, you're going forward with the bond, you need to have 2 informational meetings. But if you're just presenting information for a vote at town meeting on which way they wanna go, I think 1 is fine.
That's one of the reasons why we really need to know about the floodplain issue.
That was another thing. David actually came in today and he was hoping he could be here tonight, but he wasn't sure. But he would like to talk to the board about actually having a quick floodplain study done. So basically it'll measure where the floodplain is and where the height of the floor is and where it needs to be. And that way he'll know what we can and can't do. And that would help both if we were going to renovate here and if we were going to sell, because the buyer wants to know that too.
So we basically need to let the building committee continue on.
Yeah.
Well,
And if he needs the extra expenditure for that study, I don't think it's a lot, but he'll come to the board for the
I think you can build, and I'd have to get clarification from David, but my understanding is you can build in the floodplain if the
Yep.
floor is so many feet above
Right.
the ground level. And that would be what he would have to determine. But I think what we probably need to do is get an idea from David when he'll have these completed, because we can't have a special meeting until we
Right.
have the plans.
Right, and I would think we'd have to get a builder, or a couple of builders, to give us some sort of a
That's right.
price, because we can't go to town meeting and say,
I
well,
think they're doing that for you.
Yeah,
I think we talked about three, that we would have three contractors give us
Yep.
an idea.
yeah. So I guess, unless anybody else got anything, let the building committee keep going with this and see how fast we get this done, or we don't wanna rush it too much. And if David
They were
needs,
here Friday.
you don't know how much money David needs,
No, he said he would come to the board.
if he needs it, I mean, if he needs to know before the next meeting, we'll just hold a real
Yeah.
short special meeting here on a weekday and
That's fine.
discuss it.
They were here Friday meeting with employees to get an idea on what we need now and what we think in the future, you know, to make this building right for at least the next
Right.
50 years. You know, what our needs are for storage, what, you know, so.
Well, isn't it also important to have this done sooner than later with David, since we're working on the budget and we have a deadline for that?
That would be helpful.
Okay, unless anybody's got anything else. Still no more so. Unfinished business, park and ride grant, no update, FEMA closeouts, no update, personnel policy, no update. Go ahead with the correspondence. Carol, would you like to read this? This is a letter that we asked Shannon to draft to the Newbrook Elementary School, explaining what our concerns are about budget and taxes and all that stuff.
Or if
that's
you
a-
want, I can just email it and people can.
You guys want to have her email it so you can see it that way, or you want it?
You can email it, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
All right, fine with me. We'll just email it.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Then when we, just let Shannon know what you think, after you read it through the email,
Okay.
we'll get it sent out. Basically, it's just outlining, like we actually do, the major expenses we have coming up, and we're concerned about taxes, and that we keep kind of lowering our taxes to make the taxes better for people, but we can't keep doing that. So, see if they have any understanding with us. We're wicked early. We're done with correspondence. That's the only correspondence?
No,
Yeah.
there's actual correspondence in the
It's that top left, I think.
Right here? Yep.
Thanks. You can do it.
I'll read it if you want.
Let's see what we just have. That VLCT news, we don't need to read, it'll be here all night for that one.
Maybe you should.
Yeah.
Dear select board members, this is from Lynn Forrest. Please announce that the December 8th visit by Richard and Moore regarding village centers has been canceled, and it will be rescheduled for some time in 2016. Thank you, Lynn. I think we also, you sent this to us through email too, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think she just wanted it announced.
In the public, so the public knows.
All right, this is from Andrea Spons, is that correct? We're not sure. Hi there. My name is Andy and I work for VTEL Wireless, a division of Vermont Telephone Company, VTEL, locally owned and operated in Springfield, Vermont. We are interested in speaking to your community about the high-speed internet options we have available in Newfane and having a community forum event. Currently, our network is available throughout your town and we have excellent coverage, even to the most remote parts of your town. We are able to offer speeds up to 50 Mbps.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Download and service starts at just $10 a month. I'm hoping I can speak to you or someone you may know about the best way to coordinate a town event like this and perhaps the best places to advertise our event. Thank you for your help with this. We look forward to visiting soon. Andy. P.S. To learn more about VTEL Wireless, please check out our website. And then they get that. Andrea Spons, Lead Wireless Specialist, Springfield, Vermont.
So is that something you can check into a little bit more
Uh,
in your spare time?
is this phone service as
I
well as
I don't know.
internet service?
I just don't. The reason I brought
Well,
it
it says
to you-
VTEL, so that's the kind of thinking, wow,
Yeah, I'm just not sure it's the town's
that would be my first
responsibility to
question.
advertise for private
Yeah.
companies,
That's what I was
which is why I brought it to you
wondering
guys
while we were
instead of
reading this.
answering.
Is this
If,
the
it,
company
if
that
it's
has all
telephone
the-
service along with internet service, that might be interesting.
What she's saying is that
But it's
he
still
pretty
a
much wants us
private
to advertise
company.
free advertising for him, and we shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah,
Right.
I think if Newfane and New is interested in hosting.
Yeah, it definitely
something
is an
like that.
ad, but
Can
I'm
you
just
give that to
wondering if
Newfane
they
and New?
have that.
Mhm.
Why don't we have Shannon give that to Newfane and New, and if they want to hold a meeting or a presentation about it, they can.
We get emails from the front porch, whatever that is. Is that something for the front porch?
could
If
be.
they want to do
Not
it, I'm just
everybody
not sure
has
it's the
front
town's.
porch.
Yeah.
that the
Well,
town
if the
should
front
get
porch,
into.
front porch is private.
Yes, it
Maybe they
is.
can get together with it.
Yeah.
Well, there's some company that's got signs stuck in the ground.
Saw those, I don't know who they are.
They're here, there, and everywhere.
Oh, I know, I've
Yeah.
seen that.
I don't know what they're,
Why is that even allowed right now?
It doesn't even meet zoning.
yeah.
They can get in trouble for that.
Right,
So are we gonna leave this, what do you guys wanna do? Hand this over to Newfane and New
Yeah.
and ask them to, if they're interested, follow up with it? Is that what we're doing? Everybody comfortable with that?
Yeah, Newfane and New, and I guess also, what is it, the South Newfane Williamsville group?
Front porch.
Front,
Porch
front porch, and then, isn't there
I
another
think,
group?
I think that's the new thing.
Newfane and New sort of covers all.
Okay. that sounds
But
good.
they're more like the, what the old Newfane Business Association
Right,
is.
they have a website,
And I think if anybody would venture into something like that, it would be them.
yeah.
I
Give
just
that
don't
back
think
to
it's the
Shannon.
select
She
boards.
can hand it over to him. Okay, moving on. We don't have any more correspondence. We have pay orders. And I know that there's two of you that would love to do pay orders. Otherwise, I think we are done. Thank you, BCTV.
thank you.